The reason why that I am so extreme in polarities is because I know how merciful, how patient, and how graceful the great God is for my vessel. I sin by default. I sin by nature because I was born in a sin. And for me, for a soul like myself, because in my stations in the higher dimension, I guard the holy cities. I am by the feet of Allah. That's all I choose to do is worship Allah day and night. So I'm at an extreme polarity connected to Allah. So in this incarnation, I was born into sin. I was programmed, my default programming was by Satan, lower self, from 0-7, which from 0 to 7, if you haven't changed it, that's what plays on loop through law. The universal law of cause and effect, it plays on loop throughout your whole life, unless you have changed, unless you have transmuted it. It's going to continue to play out because it's a condition of the mind. So when we choose, this is a condition of the mind. So for my vessel to be incarnated into such extreme negativity, it was enemy to the great God until I reconciled my consciousness back to the great God through forgiveness. Because through forgiveness and acceptance, I accept that I chose to incarnate into a society that is programmed by lower self. I accept that I took that mission and I did evil with that shit. I accept that because that's all I could do. That's all I knew how to do, right? So now, boom, we still got the blocks to the great God because the great God don't sin. So we still got the blocks. So that's where the grace and the mercy comes in, the forgiveness comes in, the acceptance comes in. That, all right, great God, I can use evil. I can use the evil that I was born into for your glory, for the glory of restoring divine order. That's the difference with the victim consciousness, that they accept their sins and they accept their separation from Allah. And you can see it, when you see motherfuckers picking in trash and shit, and they just completely, they lost all hope. Like, I'm not this, I'm not my circumstance. I know thou trial and tribulation, my child, that thou art poor. No, but you are rich. Great. God said, don't look at that shit. You ain't poor, you're rich. I don't care what the world told you. You're rich. But you got motherfuckers out here, they'll really think they poor. I'm saying, they'll think they're poor, and they operate out of that consciousness. And again, universal law is always in effect. So they're feeling evil, they're feeling destitute, they're feeling poor. So whereas a being like myself could be subjected to poverty, external poverty, but feel rich inside. Like, I'm more rich than, I don't give a fuck if it's Elon Musk. I'm richer than that motherfucker. I already know that motherfucker ain't got no melanin. He got 0.10% melanin. He's doing evil against the earth. He works for Satan. Because that's who they say is the richest person on this earth. That's what they say. I'm talking about the spiritual wickedness in the higher dimensions. But it's no riches in dead paper. Dead trees, excuse me. There's no riches in dead trees. So it's impossible for a motherfucker like Elon Musk to be rich, because there's no riches, there's no wealth in dead trees. I'd rather take that tree than take your fiat money. The only reason I want the fiat money is to get you evil parasites gone. That's it. That is actually it. Because there's no enjoyment when you're separated from the great God. There's no enjoyment. I don't care how great the experience they can provide in this dimension. There is zero experience here that can relate to being stationed with the great God. So I don't want this shit. All of this is poverty. You all will suck a dick just to get what you need in this world. So that tells it ain't nothing. That tells you right there is not anything. Whether it's male, whether it's female. Because the great God warned me about that. Like, yo, don't put no stock into the so-called black man. Period. Don't put no stock into him. Because when they strip him of his ability to work, because you gotta understand that the vessel is dedicated. The vessel is created to just transmit the universal cosmic energies from both polarities. And when they're denied that right, meaning, because you know how these devils take advantage of melanin. Like, oh, if we already got countless college students competing for jobs because AI then took over their motherfucking job, right? If you want this motherfucking job, get down on your knees. That's what the black man is going to get told, because they gonna have to reduce him to get the melanin. Or you gotta go be with your former slave owner and reincarnate with them motherfuckers. So you gotta race. You either gotta race trade, or you gonna have to get on your knees. That's the male vessel in this society where AI is already taking the jobs, and then they got college students competing for jobs. If an employer sees that a college student is trying to get a minimum wage job and they have 4 years of college degree, who do you think that employer is going to want to hire? Because that college student, they're going to be prostituting themselves too. You mean I done got myself in all this debt? Did all this dedicated study and I can't even get a job in my field? All right, let me get down on, listen, they're going to be taken more seriously than the so-called blacks. The same way they did a mass discard of the tribe of Israel, the Mexicans, they already discarded the so-called blacks. That's why it's limited work opportunities out here. And again, we're going into timelines where these work opportunities are being designed to be more and more limited. So that's why the great God said, don't put your stock in the so-called black man. Because guess what? What did the so-called black man do to the woman during slavery? By default, deserted, abandoned her to get raped, to get tormented by the European. That happened. And these cycles are repeating to close out. So that is, you are gonna see that. Ain't no black man gonna want to take care of you, period. Ain't no black man gonna want to take care of you when you just a burden. When you're just a burden to them. When the European slave owner reincarnated can just use their melanin and get you out of the picture. But it's a catch-22, because that male vessel's gonna have to get on his knees, either physically or spiritually. He's gonna have to compromise integrity, or compromise values, compromise abundance, compromise wealth, compromise time, or compromise the physical body to get the needs met. And they're not gonna choose you, so-called black woman. So get that out your head and really do what you have to do for yourself, because you have more divine power to draw from during this age, this new age. You have more power to draw from because you have a womb. You create physical life. So that means you create life in spiritual realms. Because listen, we're talking about as the universal law, as above, so below, as within, so without. That is a universal law according to science. So if you have the ability to create life in your womb, you have the ability to do that in the energy realm. That's where you're going to want to place your focus. That is where you're going to want to place your focus. Because your nigga is going to be on his knees. I'm telling you. When they tell you, yo, you're not getting this job. I'm talking about in the physical. It's going to come a timeline where they're like, you got to get on your knees. The same way that Diddy does. If you want a deal, if you want a music deal, if you want an entertainment deal, get on your knees. That is what the black the so-called black man is going to have to do to make a living. We're in the age of abundance. We're in the age of Aquarius. It is an age of abundance. But you got to understand, this is a world of polarity. This is a world of duality. So you're going to experience those that are still living in the scarcity world. They are going to do things for survival or scarcity, like getting on them knees. I'm talking about a whole male vessel getting on their knees just so they can pay bills that they don't need or just survive. Women, the female vessel has always done prostitution. It was just a different name. But the female vessel has always done that. The male vessel is coming into the knowledge and awareness of how this devil operates. This devil is not going to let you get anything for free. We are being shown that by showing all the scandals in the entertainment industry. How these male vessels that want fame and riches have to get on their knees, or they have to bend over. A job is going to be like an entertainment deal in these coming timelines. So female vessel, don't put your stock into that. They just going to abandon you anyway. What you have to do, you have to purify your soul. So your husband is the great God Allah. Your husband is not a man. Your husband is the great God Allah. What more covering and protection will that be? The great God will give you ideas just to outsmart your enemy from getting you to compromise your morals, values, and principles according to your divinity. everything you do is for the lust of another. You may be in that timeline. I'm not in that timeline because I've been doing purification work for 20 years, but all of you have not. You may be in the timeline where you have to use lust to save yourself. I'll give you an example. The illustration in the basic instructions before leaving Earth, the Bible, where one of those figures was summoned before a king. He could not tell the king that was his wife. Sarah was his wife. He had to say, I think he said it was his sister. You might be subject to some shit like that in these timelines. You might be with a male, but a male may want your vessel. What are you going to do? These lust demons, because your favorite rappers like Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, all these motherfuckers got these motherfucking male vessels pissed off. Because they were continually broadcasting a message that you cannot afford this. You know, the fake plastic, the plastic body parts and stuff, they're like, you can't afford these plastic body parts. It cost me $500,000 to get this body. That's what the fuck they're out here doing. They've been out here doing this shit. You're going to be the one that has to pay for that, for their sins against humanity. Because your male vessel has been watching them and in like contempt, because that's not the divine order. Because we don't have to get a male to pay for us. A male vessel, they are already assigned subject to a female vessel to work for a female vessel. That's just the divine order. So you don't have to be like them and where they're like, I have to get plastic for a male to do his job. The great God said a male vessel's job is to provide and protect. Well, what does that look like in this society? Well, you need fiat money to survive here, unless you're going to be subjected to all types of evil. So that male vessel is required to provide and protect, lest he has not done what the great God has instructed, and he's condemned. Condemn him. You don't sit up here and beg him. That is his God-given assignment. That's his God-given job. That's why the European was able to have so many mixed race, biracial babies out here that are dangerous. I'm talking about dangerous. Because they know the mind of Allah, but they also do evil. They know evil. They are dangerous. And that only happened because the male vessel did not provide and protect for us. The female vessel. So you don't bargain with that. You just condemn that. And whoever wants to do their job, their God-given job, they gonna do it. Period. It's like that scripture in the basic instructions before leaving Earth. If you go somewhere and you're not accepted, shake the dust off your feet and curse that town and leave it. That's what you got to do with these male vessels. If they don't want to do their job according to what the great God, shake the dust off your feet, curse it, and leave it. That's your only job. Because these very same male vessels that you feel so loyal to, they are not going to be equipped spiritually to withstand the persecution that this devil is planning for them. Because the devil needs life force energy now. He's going to get it through the male vessels. He's going to send a pale skin vessel to them to extract it, or he's going to send a male vessel to them to extract it. Either way, their life force energy is getting extracted. If they not aligned with the great God, ain't nothing you can do about that. So you better listen. Listen. The other nations are in servitude to you, so-called black female vessels. They are in debt to you. They have been giving you hatred since when? Whether it's consciously or subconsciously. Because you are the receiver vessel of universal cosmic energies of the negative and the positive polarity. That means they can just dump their shit on you at will. If you receive it. My vessel, I choose to just reverse it. But most of you receive it. Oh, I'm black. I'm separated from Allah in consciousness. I'm not the most powerful vessel on the earth. A melanated vessel that can incubate life force energy. I'm accepting the crumbs from the other nations that hate me. If you got that mind, you're going to accept the curses from the other nations. If you understand that you are above these other nations, they are subject to you. They are here to serve you. If you understand that shit, that Allah's going to provide the increase. You're going to get another pale-skinned nigga to do your bidding, whether he got to fund your lifestyle. He's going to accept that shit. He's going to bow down to you. And you are not going to look at him as more. You are going to look at that vessel as less. Because the other nations are less than us, than the tribe of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel. Unless you adopted their customs and cultures, unless you made them idols, then you in a bed of sin with them. But if you know who you are, they work for you. They are supposed to bring the treasures to you. And if they're not, you shake the dust off your feet, you curse them, and you move on. That's how it is done. If you are not doing that, then you are descending. You're headed south. You're not worthy for this kingdom of righteousness. Because it's only righteous for royalty. You have to be royalty to be able to create life. And to have the highest concentration of melanin, that means you seeded the earth. That means you are royalty. If you want to bow down to the other nations that are inferior, whether they're inferior in consciousness, in divine consciousness, or whether they're inferior in melanin. If you want to act happy because that other nation wants to date with you, you are beneath them. You better be charging them motherfuckers to get near you. Because they only need your melanin. All of the nations that are set against the nation of Israel, past, present, future, are subject and in servitude to the melanated, the so-called black. If you do not accept, then you are in contract with them, and they are going to subject you beneath them. They're always going to act like you need them, but no. If you look at this earth, they need your melanin. They need your melanin. So you better be making them, you better treat them like they fucking dogs. You better give them your crumbs. You better not be giving them your all, your love. We know you're love, but you better not be giving them that, because that's not in their DNA for you. They were set against you through the DNA. The only way they love you is if you are making them wealthy, rich, happier, peaceful. That's it. Because the great God already said the other nations were set against you. I will cause these nations to rise up against you, conquer you, and slaughter you. You wicked and rebellious nation, if you do not obey my commands, and you, the so-called black, just for you, off the strength, you calling yourself black, you're in rebellion against the great God. If you call yourself black, that's separation from Allah according to science. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you are in sin against the great God. It's not possible for you to be black if you're created in the image and likeness of the great God, universal Allah. You're in sin. And these other nations, they recognize that within you. And then they come to exploit. Oh, work for me. Do this for me. Give me your energy through sex. Give me your energy through a relationship, a marriage. Because we become one. Accept the terms and conditions. Boss and employee, so I can lord over you. This is what these other nations is doing out here. If you accept, you are subject to their evil. Period. I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker want to marry you from another nation. That's your slave. He better be doing everything you want him to do. I'm talking about, he better be on his knees. You better not even deal with him. If he ain't on his knees, like, yo, you are God. You are melanin. You are life force creation. You are my Lord. If he ain't on his knees, listen, it's going to turn out. It's going to turn in reverse for you. He going to make you think that you need him when he needs you. Get it together.